Hi guys, this is my Booktube introduction. I'm so happy to finally take part. I wanted to do this for a while, but for today's introduction, I just wanted you to get to know me and then I will answer some questions I wrote down for that. And if you have any more questions, obviously you can put them down in the comments. So guys, before we start, I have a little drink, so I hope you also have a drink. Let's take a sip. And then one other thing before we start, my read of the day. It is Romantic Pack Boy from the, I think it's PR Nightmares of the NHL, and I am on page 35. It's so good. I started last evening and it is the 6th book already. I am binging these books and it is by Eden Philly, Sex and James. I am excited, definitely recommend. So yeah, what are you reading today? I would love to hear that in the comments. So first things first, my name is Carlotta. I'm from Germany, so I'm German and I currently don't live in Germany. I live in Seoul, South Korea for my studies. So I am a student full-time currently. Behind me is actually my bookshelf that is in Germany. I also have a bookshelf in South Korea because I do live there, as I said. But I am over the holidays and semester breaks in Germany with my family, so that's why I'm behind this bookshelf. So I have my laptop here and there are a few questions I looked up online, what could be interesting for my first video. So the first question is, why did I want to make this channel? And I feel like the answer is pretty simple. I just love reading. I haven't read for that long, but I also have a TikTok and I love to share what I'm reading, and I also love to see what other people are reading. So the most time I'm currently spending on YouTube is definitely on Booktube, and I just love book videos, book related videos. I love hauls, I love book shopping, I love unhauls, I love everything about it. So I just would love to be part of it. I do love to create. I'm a very creative person. I study digital media design in my master's degree, so I just really wanted to be part and combine my hobbies together into one, share my love for books. The second question is, when did your reading journey begin? And I feel like when I was a child, my mom always read for my brother and me bedtime stories, like nearly every evening she actually read them to us, so I always had the love for books. But actually when I was younger, I didn't read myself a lot. I just didn't enjoy it much because I feel like when I was younger it felt like a chore, like to get better you had to read, so I didn't really see it as something fun, so I just didn't gravitate towards it. So my best friend, I absolutely love her. She started reading a lot. Like, she always loved reading, but she really read a lot. And we live together and we do pretty much everything together. So she also read while we were at a cafe, and she also read at home. And I was kind of like feeling a little left out, not by her, but like I wanted to be part of it. So I also started reading. And it was a lot more fun than I thought. Like, first I was like, I'll try, but maybe I'm not getting into it. And now I'm so into it. Like, it's so fun. I enjoy it a lot more than like watching movies or series. So yeah, I'm very happy I got into that. And now we share a big hobby together, which is even more fun. And as I said, last year, so it was the beginning of 2025. I think it was April when I really started reading. But I first like read my first book, I guess, starting my reading journey again, January. But after that first book, I didn't read for 3 months, and then I started to actually reading a lot. That also brings me to the first book that I read, slash, I guess the first book that started my reading journey again. I'm not gonna count any books I read when I was like young, but the first book that got me into reading back again was January 2025, and it was Fourth Wing. And I absolutely love that book. I devoured it. It was super fun. And I really tried to find something that is very similar or exactly the same in a sense. But there was not really a book that intrigued me where I was like, yeah, that's it. And that's also why I didn't read for 3 months. And then my friend started to read a lot on like our little friend dates as well. So I just started reading other books. But that was the first book that got me into it. 5 stars, loved it. Then the next question is, do I read books physically, audiobook, or more Kindle? And I have to say 100% physical. I'm a physical book girly. I kind of feel like not only are those books my little trophies, I love to collect books and have this, like when I read them, this, yeah, as I said, trophy. But I also love feeling the pages. I love going through the pages. It's just really rewarding, and I'm not a big like online reader. Actually, I don't have a Kindle. I'm not planning to. I thought because I live in Seoul and I'm not planning to live there for my whole life, for now just for my studies, I thought maybe Kindle would be better because I have to get all my books back and that's crazy. But currently I'm not really feeling the Kindle. Maybe I need to try, but then again, if I try, it costs money to try. And because I don't know anyone who has a Kindle, my friend also is more of a physical book girly, so I'm not sure. And audiobooks, I've tried. I had this audiobook like from Audible, this abonnement, where it was like 49 cents for the first 3 months. So I tried it with it, and I only completed 1 audiobook. My 3 months are up. I like cancelled my subscription. I only heard 1 full audiobook. I am in one currently, but I just don't enjoy it. I don't get sucked up into the world as much. I feel like I kind of get restless. The only time when I listened to that first audiobook was when I was crafting something. That was fine. But I don't know, also sometimes I just drift away in my thoughts, so it's hard not to concentrate, but I'm just not, as I said, sucked into the world enough to actually focus. Like, it takes me a long time into an audiobook to focus. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't love it, but I sometimes do listen to audiobooks. Then next up is my favorite book genres. So that's also good to get to know me because maybe we do read similar things. So one of my favorite genres is definitely fantasy. I started with it, as I say, with Fourth Wing. I love fantasy and I still do like it, but I haven't been in the fantasy mood in a long time, like in a while. I'm currently reading more contemporary romance and I love it. Like, especially sports romance is my jam, as you can see. I mean, if you don't know these books, you probably wouldn't see, but this is like contemporary sports romance, ice hockey. I'm reading this currently. And then another genre I really love is dark romance. And like specifically, not for dark romance, but specifically for generally romance books. I really love romance. I have a lot. I feel like, especially here, like this is all and this is, except for Lights Out, this is all romance, and yeah, I just love it. I feel like it's very interesting to read diverse male representation in a sense. I feel like in a lot of romance books the male character is very similar. There are not a lot of varieties in my experience, but I also do love this psychopath, so I have a thing for that as well. But yeah, that's that. And then I really wanted to do this. I think it would be fun to share my reading stats from 2025, so you get to know me even more. I use Fable, I don't use Goodreads. I just feel like Fable has a way more fun layout, and as I'm a graphic designer, I do care a lot about that. So let's have a look. Carlotta, as you can see, there is my Fable. And then it says romance fan, so as you can see, I read a lot of romance, especially like also for fantasy. It's more romantasy, I would say. I don't really read high fantasy at all. Not that, yeah, no, I'm not that interested, maybe at some point, but, and then dark romance, contemporary romance, you see where I'm going. So I just love the love in books. So yeah, that's kind of my reader summary, I guess. And as you can see, I read 72 books last year, and I'm very proud of it because, as I said, I didn't read in February, January, March at all, and I only read 1 book in January. So I pretty much read all of these 72 books, except for 1, in 8 months, which is, I feel like, a lot of books. So yeah, and then my best streak is 202. I just read every day, so I don't really care. Like, I care about my streak 100%, but it's not about the number. I read every day anyways. So this is just, I guess, since I really started reading, that's my streak, and I don't think it will break anytime soon. And then average rating is a 4-star. I had a lot of very good reads, especially towards the end of the year, because I just found my specific niches I really liked, like, further in my reading journey. So that's why I also had a lot of good books. Then next up, the 72 books. This is just a little summary. I feel like you can see how many books I read in which month. I read a lot in July. That was my best month because I had summer breaks. I was actually in Germany for my summer holidays because I had to fix some things regarding visa and stuff. So I was at home, and I also didn't work because I was only here for like 1.5 months, so it didn't really work. So I had a lot of time to read. So I read a lot. And also, if you like know the books a little bit, you can see there's a lot of especially one series, which is the Legacy of God series. And yeah, I just binged those. Then next up here you can see kind of my genres. As I said, like romance, best of, fantasy, and then sports. I mean, that kind of goes with romance. Young adult, I'm not really sure what books those are, probably The Naturals or something. That was a fun book, but I normally don't really read young adult. Not because I don't like it, it just doesn't pique my interest as much. And then 4 thrillers, I'm not really sure what the 4 thrillers are. I only know that I read one of Frida McFadden because I was in kind of a slump, and I went in my friend's room and I just thought, a short thriller, maybe that could be something. I didn't love it. So I don't think I'm a thriller girly, which is kind of funny because I do like watching horror movies and also like thrillers in movie form, but I feel like for a book there's not enough tension for me in a sense. So I'm not sure what those books are, but yeah, that's kind of the summary. And then authors, most read authors. As you can see, last year was Rina Kent, but that also comes with reading the God of Legacy series. I read Beautiful Venom, and I read Kiss the Villain. So those already add up, I think, to the 8 books. And then Eden Finley, which should be Eden Finley and Saxon James, because I read a series by both of these authors, but Fable only gives you one author if they are co-written, which is kind of annoying. But I read 5 books, which is the CEO Hockey series. I love this series. I fell in love with that series. So yeah, I started now also reading other books by them, and they are great. I'm so deep down the Sand Verse, and I love it. I really love it. It makes me so happy, those books of those 2. And then Caroline Peckham, 4 books. So I read the first 3 of Zodiac Academy, and then I read the first book of, what was it? Oh no. I think it's Vicious Fae, or that's one of the books. Boys of the Zodiac. I read the first one, and I just don't like reverse harem. I don't like harem in general. I'm more of a one-on-one person, monogamy, no other things kind of person. So I don't really enjoy it that much. I like her, but I just didn't continue. And even though I actually really like that book, contrary to my expectations, I haven't started reading second. I always said I needed to be in the like darker winter moody months to read it, but I also still haven't picked it up. It's in Seoul, so I can't read it right now here anyways. But yeah, I haven't continued, and I'm more of a completionist, so it also doesn't feel right to read Zodiac Academy without reading those books, so I'm a little struggling there. Then we have Bria Alepu, and this is also a co-write. Bria Alepu and something with Snow, Skylar Snow. They wrote the Vitala Brothers series, which is also a series I absolutely loved. I read the first 3 books. I have the 4th and 5th book as well, but I haven't read it yet, because actually the 4th book, from what I've read from the back, one of the characters has a daughter. And just an interesting fact about me, I don't really like reading books where there are children in it. I'm just not a big fan. I can't even describe it, but I don't know. I don't enjoy it much, so I haven't picked it up yet. Then Bryn Weaver, Chelsea Curto, Elle Kennedy, Nordica Night, also one of my favorite authors, though I'm not sure if I'm going to continue Garen Park. I just like a couple to have one book and it's complete. Like interconnected standalones is one of my favorite things. Except it's fantasy, then it's fine if it's more books. But there is in Garen Park, Lot 62 is also a book that is like again the same couple. So I'm just not really interested, honestly. I like how it ended in the first book. And then Sex and James, I read 3 other books by her that are written by her alone, which are actually the Thread Wars here. And I love these books as well. And then we have some like authors where I read 2 books. You can see that. And then the last question is kind of my reading goals for 2026. I'm just gonna make it short. If you want to have a longer version of it, let me know, because I do have some things in my mind. But for now, it's just mood reading, reading what I want, reading what I feel. And the number goals I have is just, I want to read 111 books, and I think it's an odd number, but also I love the number 111. I just feel like I can do 100, so I want to push myself and do 111. So yeah, that's kind of my little goal, and I'm super excited for it. My little introduction today is done. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you stay. So please subscribe to my channel for more book content in the future, and I hope I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.